In the shadow of a quiet suburban neighborhood, a harrowing crime etched itself into the annals of true horror. It wasn't just a tragedy, it was an atrocity. A mother, Brandi Peters, faced her last moments fighting with the courage of a lioness to protect her children. Her efforts were in vain against a force of malevolence so vile it seemed to escape any human understanding. Her young daughters, twins Tamama and Tanya, and her toddler son Javante, met their gruesome end in the depths of a bathtub, silenced forever. The scene didn't just shatter lives, it summoned the darkest whispers of humanity's soul. It began with a frantic call from a concerned neighbor on November 20th, 2010. The Peters household had gone silent, too silent. The family's unanswered calls triggered an unknowing lapse into pandemonium. Responding officers entered what could only be described as a blood-soaked nightmare. The walls wore the rage of feral cruelty, and the gruesome tableau of 4 lives extinguished brought even seasoned investigators to their knees. Yet nothing about this scene bore the marks of a robbery. Maybe the evil lurking here wasn't driven by material greed. 9 agonizing years later, the world would finally unravel the diabolical thread linking this heinous crime to someone shockingly close to Brandi. But who could wield such monstrous intent? Let's rewind to a time of light and joy. The life Brandi Peters shared with her 3 beautiful children. Brandi was born on Valentine's Day in 1983, and her warmth fit the occasion. Youngest among 8 siblings, her childhood in Banbridge, Georgia, brimmed with familial love. After her family relocated to Tallahassee, Brandi graduated from Godby High School. She mastered the art of hairstyling, transforming her natural knack into a thriving at-home business. But family meant more to her than career. She found delight in crocheting and treasured moments with loved ones. Her cousin, Janet Howard, became a sister in all but name. A friendship of fiery loyalty and calm steadfastness. Brandi's life saw its share of turbulence, including the challenges of raising twins Tamama and Tanya as a single mother when her boyfriend Antonio was incarcerated. Yet these challenges didn't dim her resilience. In 2007, hope bloomed anew with Henry Segura, a welder who became Brandi's partner. Together, they welcomed a son, Javante, completing their picturesque family. Life in peaceful Saddle Creek Run seemed like a fresh beginning. Little did the world know that this haven would be the stage for an unfathomable act of violence. That fateful November evening, Brandi's disappearance was noted with growing unease. Janet, clients, and family members struggled to contact Brandi, whose constant connection to her work made her silence chillingly abnormal. When nothing but void answered their calls, the police arrived for a welfare check. Inside the house, investigators stepped into a vision straight from the pit of human nightmares. Blood trailed from the entrance to the battered form of Brandi Peters, who had fought with everything she had before succumbing to her savage assailant. Her children's fragile bodies were found stacked in a bathtub, the tub's water betraying the final moments of their small lives. The details were bludgeoning. Brandi had been shot before being beaten to death. Her daughters had bullet wounds, yet Tanya and little Javante were drowned. Blood-marked desperate struggles splattered across walls and ceilings, echoing the violence that erupted in that once serene home. But the horror didn't stop there. The killer tore the family apart with bone-chilling precision. No sign of forced entry suggested that Brandi had known her killer. A severed phone cord alluded to a calculated plan. Whoever orchestrated this massacre was no stranger. It had the intimacy of betrayal. News of the crime struck Tallahassee with paralytic fear. Students of nearby Florida A&M and Florida State University reeled in shock as local news painted grim details of the slaughter in their midst. Speculation spread like wildfire, each theory darker than the last. True crime enthusiasts and YouTube narration fans listened closely. This story isn't for the faint of heart. Now, if you find yourself drawn to unraveling real-life mysteries and human darkness, hit that subscribe button. But prepare, as this case only grows darker from here. As the investigation unfolded, suspicion narrowed on someone distressingly close to Brandi, Henry Segura, the father of little Javante. From the start, Henry's involvement in her life was complicated. Their relationship began as a secret, hidden from his wife and steeped in moral ambiguity. But now, doubt extended beyond romance. Could Henry have harbored a sinister vendetta? Initially, Henry denied any involvement. His alibi placed him far from the scene, bolstered by both his wife's testimony and phone records. Nevertheless, detectives found unsettling signs lurking in plain view: scratches on his hand and more marks on his body. Henry justified these as remnants of a gang-related altercation, but willingly provided DNA samples in a calm but calculated manner. Henry's DNA lingered as a loose thread while his claims unraveled other aspects of Brandi's life. In his recounting, Brandi was sweet but fiercely independent. Someone adored even in tumultuous relationships. If his alibi checked out, what then? Could this truly have been a crime of volatile passion from someone Brandi's children trusted, perhaps another confidant turned enemy? This wasn't an act of random terror, it was meticulously planned. No object of value was touched. This was no burglary gone wrong, but premeditated horror. With this level of cruel intimacy, one thing stood clear. Brandi and her children weren't just victims. They were targets. Who carried out this haunting crime, and what hideous shadow of humanity did they invoke to see it through? The story doesn't end here. Justice and horror both lie in the final twists that come later. But one question still lingers. How far will scorn and secrecy drive someone before they become the monster they swore they never could be? By blending suspenseful intrigue with a haunting narrative, this adaptation holds the careful balance between storytelling and tension demanded by horror story fans. The discovery of red marks on Henry Segura's pinky instantly piqued the officer's suspicions. A further search revealed more marks scattered across his body. When questioned, Henry claimed they stemmed from a gang fight in Tallahassee. A dramatic tale that included a gunshot wound to the stomach. Seemingly unfazed, Henry even volunteered for a DNA test, his calm demeanor casting doubt over his involvement. Yet his story took a darker turn. Henry admitted doubts about the paternity of Javante, his son with Brandi, revealing tensions tied to a court's decision forcing him to pay child support. He painted his relationship with Brandi as amicable, but admitted to visiting her 2 days before her murder, which he claimed was their last contact. Could lingering frustrations over child support or paternity questions have sparked a deadly rage? Or was this a twisted coincidence? The small, tight-knit community of Tallahassee was rattled by the murders, with rumors of a serial killer swirling. After all, the city had been the hunting ground of infamous killers like Ted Bundy and Gary Michael Hilton. Fear surged as investigators meticulously scoured Brandi's house, uncovering clues like a stack of incriminating love letters. Those letters were not ordinary declarations of romance. Written by James Carlos Santos, a jailed drug lord with alleged cartel ties, they revealed a dangerous connection. Santos claimed Brandi had betrayed him by stealing cocaine, which led him to order her execution. His claims were chilling, yet cracks soon appeared in his tale. When pressed for details about Brandi, Santos faltered, revealing either deceit or delusion. A psychiatrist later confirmed he lived in a fantasy world, branding him a pathological liar. His assertions were discarded, yet they hinted at a drug-related motive, a shadow investigators couldn't ignore. Amidst the chaos, an intriguing DNA hit emerged. Evidence from the crime scene matched a known drug trafficker tied to a mafia cartel in Italy. Excitement mounted, but the suspect cooperated fully, submitting a new DNA sample that excluded him. Other avenues also proved fruitless. The evidence didn't match any profiles in the national database. These misfires were deflating, but they pushed investigators to refine their focus. Among the crime scene relics, a shovel became a disturbing symbol. Theorists speculated it might signify cartel involvement, but the theory quickly crumbled. Why would a sophisticated organization leave behind such an obvious clue instead of their traditional calling cards, like a simple ace of hearts? Desperation grew as informants came forward with shaky claims, including one suggesting a man named Demario Paramore was responsible. But these leads often fell apart under scrutiny, with many informants suspected of fabricating stories in exchange for leniency. The investigation felt like wandering a maze with no end in sight. Eliminating outside threats pushed the focus inward, to those closest to Brandi. The father of the twin girls, Timaya and Tanaya, was quickly cleared as he was incarcerated during the murders. Henry Segura, however, stood out, a man with a clear financial motive. Investigators uncovered that Henry owed $20,000 in unpaid child support to Brandi. Eliminating her and Javonte would erase this debt and, in Henry's mind, solve his problems. 10 days after the murder, Henry underwent a second round of questioning. Empowered with new evidence, investigators pressed him harder. They revealed GPS data from a second phone that placed him at Brandi's house on the day of the murders. Henry crumbled, his calm shattered as his story morphed, this time claiming he had visited Brandi for sex, but lied to avoid marital conflict. The once cooperative figure transformed into a suspect, desperately trying to adjust his story to match the mounting evidence against him. The case against Henry strengthened further when disturbing new testimony surfaced. A former cellmate, Kelsey Kennard, testified that Henry had explicitly confessed to murdering Brandi and her children. This revelation, paired with Henry's changing narratives and the GPS evidence tying him to the crime scene, made the case seem airtight. Yet, justice would not come swiftly. In the first trial, the jury failed to reach a unanimous decision, resulting in a mistrial. The defense clung to the cartel theory, asserting that professionals could have committed the murders despite the absence of convincing evidence. But the walls around Henry were closing in. 2 years later, in 2017, the retrial began in what became a watershed moment for the case. The prosecution meticulously pieced together the timeline and evidence. It wasn't until November 2019, nearly a decade after the brutal murders, that a verdict was reached. Henry Segura was convicted of the murders of Brandi, Javonte, and her twin daughters, receiving a life sentence without parole. The courtroom, filled with grieving loved ones, erupted into raw emotions as years of anguish finally culminated in justice. Though Henry maintained his innocence, his DNA at the crime scene, lies, and disturbing behavior painted a picture too dark to ignore. The ripple effects of his actions shook a community and destroyed 3 bright lives. This isn't merely a tale of brutality and loss. It's a sobering reminder of how complex investigations can be. Was the motive solely financial, a cold calculation to avoid child support, or were other factors at play? Could Henry's rage have stemmed from ego, resentment, or a darker desire to erase what tethered him to Brandi? As the credits roll on this grim chapter, the echoes of what happened linger. Justice, though delayed, was finally served. Yet the scars on the community and the friends and family of Brandi and her children may never fully heal. What do you think about this case? Could there be hidden layers we still can't see, waiting to be uncovered? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And as always, if you're captivated by stories like this, hit the like button, subscribe, and share to keep these investigations alive. Thank you for watching. Stay curious, stay safe, and stay critical. This isn't just entertainment. It's a mirror reflecting the fragility of our own society's justice system.